Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all, sir, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you most deliciously. So what do we do? 3, 2, 1, my juicy light. Thank you, little light, you're delicious and bright. Yeah, they're lovely and bright, aren't they, my delicious babies now then? It's more than I can say for our weather. It's absolutely peeing it down, my delicious babies. What's the time, Mr. Wolf? It's 12:45 in the afternoon in our old England, my delicious babies, and I hope that wherever you are in the world, that the weather is better than where we are, my delicious little babies. Now then, yeah, very grey, very cold. It wasn't as cold earlier, actually, when I taught my beautiful, delicious little Ruby Tuesday out. My beautiful, delicious little Mare's Milk and Walk herself. It wasn't that cold at all. It's all right. I've got little Daisy. Hello, little Daisy. My beautiful little squirrel. She's only small, bless her. And she's looking at me through the window. My delicious little babies, you know what I mean? Oh, she's such a sweetie, you know, because I put them out a load of food. They've got the mealworms, they've got the peanuts, they've got all their seeds, they've got the bread and butter, they've got apple, banana, and pear today, okay? And so have my dear bin gentleman, bless, not in that way with anybody, okay? But yeah, they've all got a banana each, apple each, and the pear each. It's just more healthy, isn't it? So sometimes I give them biscuits, you know, as a way to say thank you. Then other times, you know, I give them fruit. I wash the fruit and everything first, you know what I mean? The apples and pears, and then dry them off and put them all in the bag for them. Do you know what I mean? Because it's nice to be nice, isn't it? You know, and to show appreciation. I was like, oh yeah, that reminds me. I was talking to somebody, I forgot to tell you on my last video. Yeah. Somebody was telling myself the other day, okay, Martin babies, to do with the other side of our brum. You know, like sort of what is it, Sparkle and all that mad delicious babies anyway. And you know, because I said, well, you know, because I was discussing, so I said that I'd talked on a couple of my videos, you know, to do with all these videos that are going up on YouTube to do with our Brummy land, you know, like Sparkle, Sparkbrook and all this now then. And I was saying, you know, if there was to get like some trucks and things like this now, then, and then each one pay, you know, like with a petty cash book or something, you know, like what we used to have, you know what I mean? Martlish babies, you know, when I was in office work all those decades ago. You know, and they've got trustworthy, you know, to come and take the rubbish. There we are, certainly feel that would be a lot better myself. Anyway, but who I was talking to, they turned around to myself and said, what it is, and this is what I feel is the problem then. So I said, so it must be that then. Because I thought, there's got to be something, okay? Their rubbish piles up more because, let's just say the council, you know, they're supposed to be, you know, where it's all even and everything. Well, it doesn't appear to be. My delicious little babies, okay, so they're not focusing as much on that side as being, you know, another one of the reasons. My delicious little babies, well, that's not fair, is it? You know, because the council should be, you know, fairness with all areas. You know, not only going to do little bits. Do you see what I mean? Madlish, I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Madlish little babies, you should know me by now, okay? But yeah, so that's another one of the reasons, Madlish little babies. But like I said, I repeat once again, if they was to get their own trucks, you know, ones were to get together, okay, chip in together. That's the old-fashioned saying, Madlish little babies. Believe there we are, and one can achieve. Do you see what I mean, Madlish little babies, okay? And do it the good old-fashioned way, ka-ching, 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 you know, everybody pay a little bit, put it in the pot. You know, Bub's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, job done, Madlish little babies now then. So yeah, but I do feel sorry for them that they've got all of that rubbish there. You know what I mean? But if they're not being helped, well, you know what I mean, Madlish babies? You cannot just say, oh, it's all to do with, you know, all of the residents who live in these areas. No, of course you're going to have the odd. Doesn't matter where you live, Madlish babies. You're always going to get the odd ones who like to just throw the flipping rubbish any which way the flipping wind or blow. Do you know what I mean? Mad little babies. And they, quite frankly, they couldn't give a shout about anybody else who lives in their neighbourhood. Okay? So, yes, no matter where you go in the world, there we are, you're always going to get one of those. Okay? But for the majority, all that they want to do, there we are, is live tardily. Do you see what I mean? Okay? They just want clean roads, clean pathways, clean everything. Do you see? There we are. That's really what ones want, isn't it, my delicious little babies, anyway? So yes, I've rambled on enough about that. Now then, my delicious little babies, so what have I got for you today? Right, okay. So I'm going to go for the first one, actually. And this proves my point. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? Not that I'm correct all the time. Nobody's correct all the time, my delicious little babies. There we are. But I've said for a long time, long enough now. You know, like you get these, what do they call them? Archaeologists and all that. Yes. Okay, my delicious little babies. Well, they believe the bullshit. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? Because, of course, they're trained, there we are, that way, to believe the bullshit. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? So, this uploader here, my delicious little babies, and strangely enough, this has come up on my feed. This uploader happens to have 2.78 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies, and it is called capital T. These are all on YouTube, my delicious little babies. Capital T, the capital U, untold. U is for umbrella, umbrella, umbrella. There's plenty of those, isn't there, my delicious little babies? Under my umbrella, umbrella, umbrella. Okay, my delicious little babies. Space, capital H, history, and in space, capital G, global. So I'm just going to read that out for you again, shall I? The Untold History Global, that's the uploader, my delicious little babies. Now, I've never seen this upload before, and it's happened to come up on my feed. This video is about just over 30 minutes long, my delicious babies, just over half an hour. And the video should read, Lies, piles that don't rot 1,000 years. Venice stands on secret pre-flood technologies, not pilings. Okay, my delicious babies, I'm just going to repeat this again for you, shall I? Lies, piles that don't rot 1,000 years. Venice stands on secret pre-flood technologies, not pilings. Yes, my delicious babies. Now, I'm about a third of the way through this, and I need to go back and look at it because the reason why I needed to bang my video out to you all, my little beautifuls. Okay? Now, for some of you, you may already know this, my delicious babies, but for others of you, you may not know. Okay? Now, for myself, I've got to be honest, my delicious babes. I mean, my I love my beautiful nanny and granddad, so they absolutely adored going to Italy, France, especially France. Okay, my delicious little babies, Spain. They loved all those places. Always going on. There we are, holidays and everything like this. Now, well, of course, they could easily afford. You know what I mean? And that's with a bought house as well, my delicious little babies. You know what I mean? And they still afford to go. Every year, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so, but I know that they call Venice the most romantic of places, okay? And I'm not being a party pooper, my delicious little babies, but it's not really the kind of place that I would want to go with my significant other when I meet my forever, okay? If he was to say to myself, oh, I'm going to surprise you, Carla, I'm taking you to Venice. Not that I'm being ungrateful or unthankful, my delicious babies. It's just not my kind of place. I can think of, there we are, far more beautiful places. Okay? Now, for some would say, well, how can you say that? No, I'm just not, you know what I mean? It's just not my kind of place, my delicious babies. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah. So anyway, but for someone else, I mean, it's like France, isn't it? It's like, what did they used to say years ago about France, the Eiffel Tower? Yeah, that's on there on one of the videos as well. Martin Baby's on this channel. How many videos has he got? I think it's 11 videos, okay? Yeah, and you know, I haven't looked at that one yet to do with the Eiffel Tower. But ones could ask me, you know, again, if my significant other, when I found my forever, when I meet him, if he said, I'm going to surprise you, Carla, and I'm taking you to, you know, well, I suppose it's not a surprise if you've been told, does it, my delicious babies? But anyway, let me just fast forward. You know what I mean, my delicious babies. Said, you know, would you like to go to the Eiffel Tower? I say no. Again, it's like they put it out into the world over decades, my delicious babies. Oh, France is the most romantic place to go, you know what I mean? To get down on the bended knee and then to have 50 years of GBH in the year old. I'm only joking. I'm only joking, man, to listen to babies. I'm just larking, okay? Right? I'm not, because I've met some beautiful couples, okay? So I do not mean it like that. That's just me being a little, you know what I mean? Anyway, right, okay? But being serious, yeah? Then they say Venice, and then they say, do you understand what I mean, okay? I believe, my delicious little babies, that, you know, you could be, come on, let me just think of an example, what's just come into my noddle. You could flipping be in a chip shop. There we are, a real flipping banging chip shop, like in Whitby or something like that now then, do you know what I mean? And, you know, you could be in a lovely fish shop and, you know, and that, there we are, that could be a romantic town for two. Do you understand what I mean, okay? It doesn't have to be in these places now. I've never been one for. I've been to France, but I'm not one for France. Do you know what I mean, mad delicious bags? Admittedly, I have not been to Italy, but then again, so saying that I wasn't drawn to it. Do you see what I mean? You have to be there. We are drawn to somewhere. Do you know what I mean, mad delicious bags? That's the way I see it. But let me get back to this now, because I just ramble on sometimes, my district babies. But I hope that you followed what I'm saying, okay? It's not that, you know, I'm a miserable little cow, I'm a miserable little madam, and I do not want to go anyway. No, it's got nothing to do with that. It's just that, you know, I wouldn't want somebody to waste their money, their ka-ching, on taking me somewhere that I've really got no interest in going to. So that's not being nasty, my district babies. What you see in myself, there we are, is what ones get. You know, I don't mean this in literal terms, my delicious little babies. Figure of speech. There we are, sold as seen. You know what I mean? I'm very easily pleased. Believe it or not, my delicious little babies. There we are. You'd find it really hard because you do not know me personally. Well, you know, there will be some out there, my delicious little babies, you know, like my beautiful dear little friend, one of my beautiful dear little friends the other day, you know, who do know me personally, okay? But for those who do not, my little babies, well, the fact of the matter is, I'm not material. I'm not material at all. Not materialistic one bit. Okay, my delicious little babies, I've been there decades ago, done it, got the t-shirt, not for myself. Okay? So I'm very easily pleased. As you can see, you know, my nails are always flipping breaking, always in water. Okay? Well, that's, I mean, I see this as a good thing because I happen to, you know, really love water. But, you know, I do not, it's a rarity you'd ever see me wear makeup. When I first started on my YouTube channel, I thought that was a done thing, and I thought that's what you know, sort of really had to do you understand what I mean? In order to do your videos. And I wasn't comfortable with that. So, you know, and I'm not one of these either who just goes out continuously buying clothes and everything like this now then. I mean, I must be honest, I do love to buy underwear, okay? But again, I'm not what you would call greedy. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, I buy so many sets, whatever clock of the year, and then I'll buy so many more sets another clock of the year. Do you understand what I mean, my delicious babies? I'm just not made that way. And usually, with the majority of tops that I've had, I probably wore them once or twice, probably with some 3 times maximum, and then I pass them on. You know, my daughter's just had the last lot some months back, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? Because I just thought, well, give them to my daughter, you know what I mean? So either one of my daughters, do you know what I'm saying? Okay, my delicious little babies, right? So yeah, or maybe another close friend of mine or something, if they were to fit. Do you see what I mean? Okay. So I'm just not made that way, my delicious little babies, and it's really hard, I suppose, for ones to understand that. Well, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing to understand. I'm just not materialistic, and that's it. So, right now then, but I love you all, my delicious little babies, okay? So, yeah. So, this is very true. When you actually listen to the video that I've listened to so far, like I said, I've got to listen to the rest of it. It is so, 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 so true. Okay? It's like, we've got, what are they called? Deserts and things like this, okay? Well, I mean, it's a different thing, but the moral still, the fact of the matter is, I do not believe that everywhere was just sand at one time, because I do not believe that. And of course, they've had findings to do with these so-called deserts. Haven't they, my delicious little babies? You see what I mean? So this is why I say, one should not always believe that we are in the bullshit. My delicious little babies, you know what I mean? But it's a good video, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to, listen to the rest of you. Not in that way with anyone, okay? So, yeah, very interesting, my delicious little babies now then. Should anybody, like I say, happen to have any form of an interest, but so far, there we are. Ding, ding, dong, dong, there we are. It's common sense. Okay, now then, the next one, my delicious little babies, where am I now? Right, let's go to this one. This uploader happens to have 1.01 million, my delicious little babies, okay? And this is all in capitals. Forgotten, this is the uploader, my delicious babies. Forgotten space history, all in capitals, my delicious little babies. And this is, I think this is about 30 minutes long, my delicious little babies. And the video should read, Klaus Schwab, yeah, that piece of shit, and the truth about the World Economic Forum. Okay, my delicious babies, so I'm just going to repeat that again for you. Klaus Schwab and the truth about the World Economic Forum. Now then, there are thousands of videos to do with the WEF, okay, World Economic Forum, and this Klaus Schwab, you alone, nothing and be happy. You know what you need to do, my delicious babies? You need to look at some of the comments, You should see what they're flipping, let me tell you. There's nobody like Klaus Schwab now. They're flipping WEF. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies, okay? So anyway, but so I'm not talking to your beautiful selves who already know about this, my delicious babies, but I'm talking to our other beautiful little babies out there who are not quite aware of things. You know what I mean? So that's not being rude. Or patronising to anyone, taking the pee or anything. No, but not everybody knows these things. Okay, my delicious little babies. Again, well worth. There we are. A little watch of that video. Okay, just explains at the very beginning, to do with Klaus Schwab and his dad, and it sort of explains that. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay, then how he's got started. But like I said, there's thousands of different videos to do with Klaus Schwab, okay? But you used to look at some of the comments, my delicious little babies. Well, I tell you, they're just done telling it. Do you know what I mean? Not a very good fan base at all. Klaus Schwab, do you know what I mean? Okay. Anyway, it is amusing though, okay? I just find things, like that amusing. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Now then, my delicious babies, to the next one. Okay. Sorry, excuse me. This uploader is called, I think I've advertised this one before, but I think I have, but I think it must be months and months and months and months and months ago, because it rang a bell. These three letters are all in capitals: LSB, space, capital F, film, then space, capital P, productions. That's the upload of my delicious little babies. LSB, film, space, productions. Okay, so there's all spaces. This upload happens to have 31.2 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies, and Sorry, excuse me once again. The video should read, they don't control you, they control what you consent to. Okay, my delicious little babies, I think, is this about 20 minutes or something? Because I cannot see it properly now. You know, like on the YouTube where you can, to see how many minutes, you know, or say if you're listening to a video, then you click on see how many minutes. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what's happening with the YouTube with that. You know what I mean? But you need to be able to see it clearer. Anyway, yeah. So what your man here is talking about, okay, is to do with well, basically, yeah, because it's all common sense, isn't it? Because the fact of the matter is, okay, these putrid, you know, all governments all over the world, you know what I mean? Okay, it's like they have to get our consent, but anyway, they do sneaky things, you know, like in the COVID, you know what I mean, and the old pandemic, you know, and you know, so they have to get consent for things, so they have to put things out and then see if you know, those of us out here are going to agree with it, okay? Well, to tell you the truth, my little babies, I just happen to feel that there's more and more who are not consenting, my delicious little babies, do you know what I mean? Okay? Because, well, simple things are getting completely peed off. There we are. They're getting completely peed off, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? Because we're forever being lied to. We're forever being, you know, dictated to, okay? Because this is what our old England's like at the moment, my delicious little babies. You know, it's like, you know, who is running the country? Because I do not feel that we have, shall we say, a leader. I'd say, there we are, there is somebody behind the curtain, there we are, who is running our country. My delicious little babies, and let me tell you, running it well into the ground. So this video basically is about consent. Okay, my delicious little babies, well worth a little listen. Again, I'm about 30. Oh, sorry, excuse me. I'm about third of the way, 30. Third of the way through my delicious little babies, okay? And again, I shall listen to the rest of that. Now, there's one more, my delicious little babies, okay? So before I say anything else, I was listening to our lovely Not In That Way, Not In That Way, our lovely trending space on Space Iconic, sorry. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay, our little Daisy's getting, well, she's getting soaking, you know. She's just been shaking herself, you know, my little squirrel. She's such a little sweetie, you know. Anyway, sorry, my delicious babies, I do get distracted. It's just, I just absolutely adore the little birdies, little squirrels. Oh, I just adore everything. Anyway, my delicious babies. So anyway, so I was listening to our dear, Not In That Way, Not In That Way, our dear Gareth, okay, Gareth Ike. And because what I do, I click onto the YouTube to trending on Iconic, and then I go into where it says more, and then I scroll down a little bit, and then I click on Iconic, and then I go on so I can listen to the full video. Do you see what I mean? Okay, my little babies. So that would be the better thing for you to do if you wanted to listen to all the video. Yeah, well, it seems that Elon Musk is, yeah, that putrid again. My delicious babies. Yeah, well, it's as I thought anyway. There we are. It's as I thought anyway. You know what I mean? What did I say? I did a video not so long back. It was a shorty video. My delicious little baby's little ribs. She's yawning as if to say, "Oh, mother, do you ever shut up?" Okay, my delicious baby. You know, a little beautiful baby, because they're both so beautiful little babies. And I did. I said, yeah, I happened to be walking past and I seen a clock. You know, because a dear lady and a dear husband, you know, not in that way was moving. Okay, and there was a green fishing net. And I did a shorty video. You know, it's like tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Only a matter of time. It's just, there we are, little babies. Do you see what I mean? And what has he done now? Yeah. So you're not allowed to say anything. You say. So I already knew this, my delicious little babies. I personally do not go on Twitter, because that's how I will always know it as. Okay, this silly X business, no. Uh, I just think it doesn't sound like for mankind. Do you know what I mean? My delicious little babies. Okay, it's totally something else. But yeah, so what dear Gareth's saying, so please take a listen, my delicious little babies, please, and thank you if you can. What he's saying is, okay, because they've changed the terms and conditions on Twitter, well, the fact of the matter is, well, basically, you cannot say a damn thing, okay? Because let me tell you, years and years, and that would pee anybody off, you know, like years and years and years of all of your videos, all your research, and at the flick of a switch, they can just, there we are, remove the whole lot. Look at that, Martin, babies. And if you do not have a backup, you know what I mean? Okay, so, you know, your videos are somewhere else. Me personally, I do not. I delete all, man. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? So, you know, off my dog and bone I'm talking about, do you know what I mean? My delicious little babies, okay? Well, I just do not have the storage space, to tell you the truth, okay? And anyway, I'm forever buying new flipping dog and bones, you know what I mean? Me and dog and bones, I just do not know what happens with the dog and bones, do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm flipping always buying one, flipping, is it nearly every flipping year I'm buying 1 or 2 a year or something like that. I just do not know what it is, okay? Anyway, so yeah, so they can remove your videos if you're not playing the game, okay? You know, then there's to do with court cases and everything like this. No. You know what I would do? This is just myself personally, my delicious little baby. This is probably actually, there we are, the way it will go. Because less and less and less, okay, we'll be using Twitter. Okay, so I reckon in the end, ones will probably stop. There we are. Over time, there'll be a lot more coming out of Twitter. There we are. There will. Okay, so it'll just leave a certain number, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, which will not be a lot. Okay. But then they'll probably find themselves with talking to the, there we are, they're talking to the damsels. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? But I could have said, and I've already said, sorry, that, you know, it's all a trap. You know what I mean? Okay? What's that song? Can't you see I'm so confused, I can't get out, you see I'm trapped. You know what I mean? Like a fool I've been again, I can't get out. You know what I mean? Okay? What year was that song now, delicious little babies? Anyway, so yeah, so we're not surprised. I'm not surprised. I wasn't surprised one bit when I heard. Not at all, because this is what the crack is. And which leads me on to the last video. So this one here, my delicious little babies, I've never seen this one before. This has not come up on my feed. It's when I was looking at, which one was I looking at? I think it could have been when I was looking at the Klaus Schwab and I scrolled down a bit and then I found this one, I think. Or was it? No, it wasn't. I think it's the LSB one. LSB Film Productions. And I think then I scrolled down and then that's when I found this one. Okay, my delicious little babies, but I've never seen this before. For some of you, my delicious little babies, you may have done. For others of you, you may not have done, okay? Again on YouTube. This uploader happens to have 8.72,000 subscribers. My delicious little babies, 8.72. Capital B, this is the uploader. Brussels, space, capital S, signal. Okay, my delicious little babies, so I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? Brussels, space, signal. Okay? My delicious little babies, okay? So I've just started to listen to this one. Is this one about 30 minutes? Oh, I think they're all about half an hour, my delicious little babies, for most of them. Now this video should read, because like I said, I cannot see the flipping things properly. Elites are panicking. That should give us hope. Okay, my delicious little babies, so I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? Elites are panicking. That should give us hope. Okay, my delicious little babies, so I'm going to close my book. Yeah, that's everything ticked off, isn't it, my delicious little babies? Yeah. So yeah, need to go back to where we need to go back to, my delicious babies. Right, well, I mean, like I said, I've not long started listening to this video, but like I said, I mean, for some of you, you may have seen this upload before, but for myself, I have not. And there we are. And I always try my utmost, there we are, to be as honest as possible. Okay, so if I have not saw something, I will say that I have not saw something. Okay. Um, but yeah, from what I could hear, yes, it's sounding good to the ears, my little honey bunnies. Yeah, and of course, this is going back to the Twitter. Do you see, when you're being censored, okay, my delicious babies, well, that tells myself, as I'm pretty sure it will tell yourselves, my delicious babies, okay, that once there we are very worried. Now, I've been done, there we are, long time, whatever o'clock, saying this, my delicious babies. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, because if you was not worried, then why would you be going to all of these great lengths? Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Okay, so the way that I see it is, there we are, it's blatantly obvious. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Anyway, but of course, you know, our dear Gareth, dear Jamie, their dear dad, David Hart, blessing, their dear friend Richard, you know, not in that way with anybody. Well, the fact of the matter is that, yeah, they've been long time saying it, I've been long time saying it, others who will put their head above the parapet, you know, they have, we are also been saying it, yes. And I feel that this is what it's about, see, because if they cannot control what is being said, like I said, the lid, there we are, is well and truly off. Do you see what I mean? And they're finding it harder and harder and harder, there we are, to control. There we are. It's blatantly obvious what's been going on. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Anyway, so that's the end of my video. But yeah, good little videos there to take a listen to, my delicious little babies, you know, wherever you are in the world, okay? And how I love you so. You know, little Daisy's doing right gymnastics today. She's like on top of the birdie house. Then she does like you imagine, you know, when you're at school doing gymnastics, yeah, and she's flipping swinging everywhere, and then she's moving her arms and her legs, and you know, and all sorts. You know, she's really having a fun time in that birdie house. Okay, my delicious little babies, but yes, so and thank you so very much. I really just get so distracted. Oh, she's running now. Doom 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 doom. Do you remember that tune, my delicious little babies? What year was that? Anyway, so yeah, and thank you so very much for any views, for any likes, and for the occasional comments. Yeah, I do get really distracted sometimes, my delicious little babies. I really, really do, you know, okay. Sometimes I just lose my trail of thought. Anyway, but yes, and yeah, thank you so very much for any views and everything. Do you know what I mean? Just for listening, at least I know there we are. Somebody's listening, my delicious little babies, because there's always somebody seeing and there's always somebody listening, isn't there, my delicious little babies? As we all, there we are, very well know. Don't we, my delicious little babies, okay? And this is why I am Shadowband. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? Well, I must be talking a complete, there we are, element of truth, mustn't I, my delicious little babies? Do you see what I mean? Yes. I'm not worried about it anyway, because there we are, my message in a bottle, yeah. You know what I mean? It always gets out one way or the other, my delicious little babies. Anyway, oh, here she is, she's back again now. Look, she's back again. She's feeling most energetic is our lovely little Daisy today, my delicious little babies. Oh, she's been very active. Anyway, so you just take care now then. It keeps you lovely and calm. You know, when you see our beautiful nature keeps us beautifully calm. Do you know what I mean? My delicious little babies, okay? And as soon as it stops peeing down, there we are. She's running again. Look at her. It's like she's running a little marathon. My delicious little babies, is she working her way up to a marathon? Anyway, so until my next video, okay? Peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you, okay? And may beautiful little selves, beautiful families all be fully protected, okay? And whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies, okay? How I love you all so. You are all beautiful, wonderful, and delicious, and I love you, okay? So until my next video, take care now. Goodbye.